Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm kind of tired, so I want to try to get this out fairly quickly, but we're going to be going over all of the god rules for the 4 Festival of the Lost weapons. So basically, if you don't know, Festival of Lost is out. It's like the Halloween event, and we have 4 guns that we can chase after, and I'm going to give you my god rule opinions on each one for PvE and also PvP. Starting off with the grenade launcher, first things first, this gun is not good, and honestly, I don't really know if any of these barrels really matter. Maybe go with like hard launch, I don't know, maybe counterbalance or countermass. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. The only thing I really do know is that I would go with spike grenades on it, simply just because spike grenades, it does more damage to bosses, and in PvP, if you can direct it, I mean, you're dead anyway, but still. In PvE, really, you want to go with either clown cartridge or field prep, and pairing that with explosive light. Field prep simply because it gives you more ammo, and then also fast reload, so you could hopefully dump out pretty quickly. Just only L is explosive light being the only thing that increases your damage. Yes, it is 60% more, but it does go away fairly quickly. Alternatively, you could use something like clown cartridge cascade point, which might be kind of fun to try to blow the gun's load, if you will, super fast. As for your origin trait, you're really not, Nadir focus isn't really going to do much for you. I don't really think it matters all that much. I would say probably search party. But again, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. PvP wise, I would probably go with something like impulse amplifier or quick draw with high ground. High ground is really nice because you're going to get a 10% increased damage if you're just above people, which when I use grenade launchers, I'm always pretty much mobile in the air. So very, very rarely is there people below me. So that's why I would go with that. As for your masterwork, probably something like velocity, or me personally, I really like blast radius. So that's what I would go for the cosmic. But again, it's not very good. Next is the horror story. Now, this gun got quite a big facelift in terms of PvP because it has some very, very nice perks. In terms of PvE, I don't think this thing is super solid, but we will talk about it. If you are going to want to use this in PvE for your barrel, I don't really think it matters all that much. So your first barrel can just be very, very dependent on you. I would use something like Tac Mag just because it does up the magazine a smidge, but it also does have a faster reload as well. You could also use something like alloy mag or extended mag if that's kind of your speed, but Tac Mag I do really like in PvE. In terms of PvP or perks for PvE, Demolitionist isn't awful either. Neither is Envious Assassin, I suppose. It really doesn't have great perks for, honestly, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just really not that solid for that. If you're talking boss damage, if you're going to use it for that, you could go Envious Vorpal or something like that. If you wanted to go Demolitionist, Adrenaline Junkie, those pair very, very nice together in terms of PvE. But let's be honest with ourselves. This is a PvP gun, and you're going to want to run fluted barrel accurized rounds with a masterwork, in my opinion. 77 range is very, very nice for a 450, in my opinion. It also does give you nice stability and handling. As for your perks, I would go with something like Dynamic Sway or Elemental Capacitor, so that on Void you could have a lot more stability, Solar Reload, Arc, max handling, which makes it feel very, very snappy, Stasis for recoil direction, or Strain for the inner accuracy. You could go with that if you really, really wanted to, but I think Dynamic Sway is just going to be the best perk for that. And you know what perk I'm going to talk about is next for PvP. Definitely going to be Target Lock. This perk is disgusting. You could go with Adrenaline Junkie, assuming that Target Lock gets nerfed. But Target Lock right now is really, really good, and it just really just benefits you in PvP by so much. In terms of your origin trait, I don't think it really matters in terms of PvE, but for PvP, you definitely want to go with Nadir Focus because it gives you increased accuracy and range the longer you sustain fire, which is really, really nice. Moving on to the Macabre, kind of spoiler alert there, but anyway. So for PvE, I would go with something like Fluted Barrel and then Extended Mag. I think that's probably going to be your best bet there. And for your, mainly because the way that I see that this weapon being used is to do boss damage just based on some of the perks that it have, like Triple Tap and Vorpal Weapon or Clown Cartridge Vorpal Weapon. So if snipers ever do get buffed, this might not be a terrible option. That could be really, really nice. And then you could run like a reload masterwork or something like that. to kind of help that out. And then you could also put on like boss spec for more damage, backup mag for more of a magazine, getting it up to +5. And then you don't really need to go extended barrel. You could go with something like tac mag, I suppose, or honestly, if you go tac mag, getting that +4 just like would with extended mag, but you don't get any of the L. So definitely want to go tac mag actually. Triple tap Vorpal for PvE. Your origin trait doesn't matter. You're only granted search party, fortunately. In terms of PvP, there's a few different things that I would run here. For one, I would go with a handling masterwork, fluted barrel, and accurized rounds. It gives you 51 handling base, which is really, really nice. And then because of the origin trait, you can honestly get away with not using snapshot if you do abuse it a lot and go with keep away opening shot. And this will basically just it'll give you more accuracy on that first shot, which is kind of why guns like a distant pull are super strong in my opinion. I think it's a really, really good sniper. But overall, I wouldn't go with keep away for this just because this gun is in aggressive frame. It is going to be a bit slower. So I would go with snapshot, and this is definitely what you want to go for. You're hitting the 100 range, so you don't really need to worry about keep away. And then you have very nice base handling as well. And then you can abuse search party as well. If you don't get opening shot, high ground could be interesting because with high ground, you're getting 10% increased damage. So I believe if you are above somebody, you would be able to one tap body with this. So that could be fun. But that's pretty much it for that. And then finally, we have the Jurassic Green. PvE, I really don't see anything super good for this, but I would go with something like Arrowhead Break and maybe, you know, again, tac mag, extended mag, maybe even alloy mag or flared mag, well, something like that. If that's kind of your cup of tea. Then you could use something like Substance and Incandescent. I would definitely run Incandescent if you're using this thing for boss, or not boss, add clear. You could also use something like Collective Action. You're making a lot of fire sprites and stuff, but Substance, Incandescent isn't that bad. Loose Change and Collective Action could play kind of nice together, because when you're making a debuff, you're gonna also make a thing that you can you could pick up like stasis shards or something like that. So these could pair kind of nice together, and that does increase your reload speed. You could also go with Heal Clip, Incandescent. This might not be a bad roll either for PvE. But again, I think this is actually a PvP gun. It does have some very, very nice perks for PvP. That being right here, the Keep Away and the Head Seeker. So it's just going to make it feel really, really consistent with the Head Seeker. Head Seeker is a really, really good perk now. And then Keep Away, it's going to give you more accuracy, more range. It's going to make this thing hit for a truck. And in terms of barrels and stuff, I don't really think much changes. I would still go with like Arrowhead Accurized, but you could alternatively go with like Hammer Forge, or if you want to be really weird, you could go full bore if you wanted to go for max range, or honestly, Fluted Barrel wouldn't be a bad pick. But me personally, I like getting that recoil direction and some more handling. So I think Arrowhead Break is definitely going to be the way to go. In terms of your other perks here, there's a lot of decent options. If you're not a huge fan of Keep Away, Perpetual Motion or Killing Wind might not be too bad. Pre-nerf Rangefinder would have been nice, but since it got nerfed, I would never use it. I'm probably never going to use it again. Encore could be really, really nice because, you know, if you get it to ×4, which is pretty easy to do inside of PvP, that could feel really, really consistent. And then you can run things like Full Bore, you're at 92, and because this thing has field tested, you're easily able to get it to 100, which is really it's kind of crazy, honestly. If you wanted to run Encore, now me personally, I want it. I would definitely go with Head Seeker, just make it feel more consistent. But yeah, the field tested origin trait on there is definitely what you go for in terms of PvP. And then in PvE, honestly, I don't think it matters. I'd probably go field tested anyway, just because it's easier to just not swap. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the god rolls, all the weapons, in my opinion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Did you get any god rolls of those weapons? You know, let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to hear what you guys think about all these weapons. Now, me personally, like, I have god rolls from the past of these, so I don't really have to farm super hard for them. The only things I'm really going to be going for super heavy is Horror Story and the Jurassic Green, and then Macabre at the end of the once I find everything else, probably, or I might go Macabre first. I don't know. But again, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.